Hey, Chris Lipe here, helping you work on your voice, your guitar playing, your musical ear. And in this video, I want to address a question that I get a lot. How do I develop endurance with my singing voice? Or the similar question would be, why do I get tired so quickly when I try to sing? And how can I get over that hump so that I can sing as long as I want to without destroying my voice or without feeling really tired? Now, I have to start out by saying that the voice is made up of a lot of different muscles, and all those muscles working together are led by your mind. So there's a lot of different components coming together and doing very specific things to generate the sound that we hear that happens with our voice. So there's not a simple light switch approach, well, I am tired and flip the switch and now I'm not tired after I sing for a while. Developing endurance with your voice is very similar to developing endurance or developing strength when it comes to exercising, because we're using muscles, we're using our mind. It's the same sort of thing, except there's this added component that we're making music with it, and there's also sorts of emotions and feelings associated with what we're doing with our voice. So if you're trying to develop endurance and sing for longer periods of time, or you're trying to even sing at all and not feel tired or hoarse afterward, you have to understand that it's a process. It's a longer-term commitment that you have to be ready to make. And if you're towards the beginning of your journey with wanting to sing, I strongly encourage you to join my Free Your Voice course that's free by clicking the link below. And this is going to help you get started off on the right foot when it comes to basic singing mechanics, when it comes to feeling which muscles we should be engaging and how to engage those muscles. Because if you're engaging your muscles incorrectly and trying to develop endurance, you're not going to be able to do that. You're going to get tired, and you're going to continue to get tired simply because you're just singing incorrectly and you're not using the muscles in the way that they were designed to be used for singing. So do yourself a favor and get things set up so that you can sing correctly first, and then what we're doing in this video is going to help immensely. So as I said earlier, developing endurance with your singing voice is very much like regular old exercise. If you're going to train to run a marathon, you want to develop exercises and routines that help you train up to that 27 or so miles. Anybody who's training for a marathon will tell you that they don't go out and run 27 miles a day to train for their marathon. They are starting with very short exercise routines and then gradually working up to being able to run that distance. Same with other forms of exercise like strength training. If you're wanting to get stronger to play basketball, for example, and you develop a weight routine, you're not doing the exact same things that you are doing in basketball to strengthen your body. You have a set of exercises. You have a routine that builds overall strength so that you can go out and execute with basketball. Now, I'm going to say this, and if you've been watching this channel, you already know this about me. I hate exercises when it comes to singing. Those traditional exercises that I was taught in traditional voice lessons never worked for me. They introduced tension. They made me feel insecure about my voice. So when I'm training, when I'm conditioning my voice to be able to sing for long periods of time and developing endurance, the things that I do, while you could still classify them as exercises, I consider them to be, we'll call them musical snippets that help me train. So what I'm going to introduce to you today is one of the ways that I have been able to condition my voice to last longer. I've been able to develop endurance as well as improve my articulation and range and pretty much everything about my voice by taking this approach to practicing. And I'm not going to call it an exercise. I'm going to call it a mini song or a song snippet. I always try to be musical in everything that I practice, particularly with my voice. I want to be able to sing for longer periods of time. The irony of this whole thing is I actually want to practice this type of thing for a very short period of time, but I want to do it regularly. Every day for 5 minutes is a great way to start doing this sort of thing. You don't want to go longer because you want to gradually build strength. Just like with weight training or running, you start small and you do it frequently, and our body responds. Here's the melody. Oh, I'm starting in E. Start in the middle of your range, not oh. We don't want to start all the way down there. Oh. Now, I like to immediately find a word that makes it feel more musical to me and then assign rhythm with my guitar. You don't have to use your guitar. You could use a piano and get your pitch. I like to use a guitar because I like to strum along and do this in a way that I can connect to my instrument. Oh. Now I'm gonna use a word now. I'm gonna use the word fly. Fly, which has the underlying vowel on the sustaining portion of ah, right? Fly. Then I'm transitioning to the E vowel. It's more real world. It helps me warm up in a way that is less concerned about pronouncing a vowel right or whatever, and more concerned about just singing. Fly, fly, go up, fly, fly. Switch up my word. Grow, grow. Now, you want to go up from the middle of your range until you feel like you are starting to get to that point where if you went any more, you would be straining. Now, there's all sorts of ways to take this exact same exercise and use it as a way to practice expanding your range. We're not going to do that right now. We want to go up to where we're starting to get uncomfortable, and then we want to work back down to our middle of our range where we started, and then start going just a little bit lower. And then you want to do the same thing in the other direction, all for about 5 minutes a day. doing a melody like this, it's a bit of a rangy melody. We're not just singing a scale, da 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 da. We're not doing that. La 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 la. There's some jumps, there's some incremental things. So it works portions of your range at a time, and then you're going up or down and working a slightly different portion. So this little melody is really handy. It's a great way to work on vocal endurance, but here's the key. We're working on vocal endurance, so we're working in the comfortable middle of our range. Not too low, not too high. If we start going too low and too high within this context, we will start to introduce unconscious tension because we're trying to shoot for notes or we're trying to, practice going lower or whatever. We don't want to do that. We want to work comfortably here because we are training our muscles gradually in our voice to go tension-free for longer periods of time. So we want to be in that groove. We want to be in that vibe. If you push too low or too high, you cheat yourself out of the opportunity to exercise your muscles in the comfortable range, in the comfortable way that they need to be existing over longer periods of time. So pick a handful of words, take this melody, get into a musical vibe, and work the middle area of your range for 5 minutes a day in your chest resonance voice. We don't, for this particular thing, for endurance training, this is where we want to start. We don't want to be up. We don't want to be down. We want to be right in the middle. And we want to be going back and forth. You might go up and down a number of times within your 5 minutes. Once you feel like you've done that daily for quite a while, you can push it up to 10 minutes a day, depending on what else you're doing with your voice. And that gets into vocal budgeting and all sorts of other things that are really beyond the scope of what we're doing right here. But again, I encourage you to join my free vocal course if you're interested in taking your voice to another level. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you like what I'm teaching here, and be sure to leave your questions and comments below. See you for more.